In his day, the poet Ovid was celebrated for his elegies, so writing an epic to compete with Virgil was a bold move. As we shall see, Ovid takes the myth and makes it all his own, weaving in references to his own work and choosing a punchy sort of rhythm. Later, Ovid was exiled to the Black Sea by Augustus for a carmen et error, a song and a poem. We are not exactly sure what these were exactly, but we know Ovid's poetry tended to undermine Augustus's new wholesome approach to the Republic. It is possible he may have erred with Julia, Augustus's own daughter. Ovid's tale is not a new one. As a matter of fact, Virgil had already retold the myth in his Georgics. What differs is the poet's style. Virgil tends to prefer heavy-sounding spondies, creating a more serious tone to his epics. Ovid, however, whose background was elegy, preferred the faster-sounding and livelier dactyls, so his verse tends to sound more vibrant. Ovid's Metamorphoses is composed in dactylic hexameter, the meter of epic and Homer, recognized by 6 feet in each line. Each foot contains a certain number of syllables, which can be either long or short. In the case of the Metamorphoses, a foot can be either a dactyl or a spondee. A dactyl is 3 syllables long. The first is long, the next 2 are short. It would sound something like da didi. In contrast, its partner, the spondee, is only 2 syllables, both of which are long, and would sound like da da. The entire line typically looks something like this: da ditty da ditty da, ditty da ditty da ditty da da. The first 4 feet may either be dactyls or spondees. The 5th foot is normally, but not always, a dactyl, while the 6th foot is an nūmq, that is, either a long or a long short. A good way to remember this is the mnemonic strawberry jam pot. So in our line below, it would sound like this: dum ditty dum, possibly a pause for caesura, ditty dum dum. Each line can be written with any combination of dactyls and spondees, so as long as there are only 6 in total. As a general rule, the lines tend to be heavily dominated by dactyls. Poets, however, will often utilize spondees to deliver emotional intensity to a specific line and word, demonstrating to the modern reader that Latin poetry was largely performative. Before we begin, allow me to explain the diacritics you're about to see. The feet are marked with a blue line. Elisions, that is the alighting of certain vowels, is noted with a parenthesis. I have also for the first passage marked the caesuras with a pair of diagonal purple lines. These are natural breaks, or what we call breathers. We will take the readings section by section, every 5 lines, which is artificial and just for pacing. And now, let us begin with Ovid's tale of Orpheus and Eurydice. Īndē, per mensum crōcēlo lātŭs mīctū, aēthēră dīgrēdicitor, Cțicõ nūmq ad ōrās tēndĉit, et Ōrphē ne quīquām vōcēe, Ādfŭĉit īllē quīquām, sed nec sur lēmncyă verba, nec lātŭs voltus, nec felix atulit omen. Notice here the word for saffron, crōcēo. Hymenaeus, the god of marriage, wears yellow, typically a color associated with Roman brides and sacrifice. Also, the crocus was long held to be a natural remedy for menstrual cramps. Ovid mentions the Cæconians. These are a Thracian tribe, and what's important about this is it's forecasting Orpheus's own death, for he will reject the advances of the Cæconian women, who will eventually tear him apart. Notice on line 3, wōcēe cātūr. It's an excellent example of consonants at the end of the line. On line 4, Ovid uses a verb at the beginning of the line for emphasis. And now for the translation. Then, through the vast heavens, having been dressed in a saffron cloak, Hymenaeus quits the heavens, reaching the shores of the Ciciões, and in vain is summoned by the voice of Orpheus. He indeed was there, but he brought neither ceremonial words, nor happy faces, nor a favorable omen. Fax quoque, quam tenuit, lacrimosa stridula fumo, usque fuit nullus quinvenit motibus ignes. Exitus auspicio gravior, nam nupta per erbas, dum noa naiadum turba comitata vagator. Ucidet, in talum serpentis dente recepto. Notice that on line 6, Ovid has constructed a mini chiastic line with stridula straddled between lacrimoso and fumo. On line 8, we have a comparative adjective with an ablative of comparison. Notice that on line 8, Ovid refers to Eurydice as nūmq. We don't actually receive her name until Orpheus descends into the underworld. Additionally, the torch which he held constantly hissed with tear-provoking fumes, and even with shaking it found no fires. The outcome was more serious than the omen, for while the new bride, accompanied by a crowd of river nymphs, wandered through the grass, she died with the tooth of a serpent having been received in her ankle. Quam satis, ad superes postquam rhodopeeus auras de flevit vates, ne non temptaret et umbras, ad stiga tainare est ausis descendere porta. Perque levit populus simulacraque functe sepulcro, Persephonem adiit īnmēnaque regna tenentem, umbrarum dominum pulsisquad carmina nervus. Notice that on line 12, we have ne non temptaret. It's a really awkward double negative purpose clause. On line 14, we find leves. It's modifying populos. And we translate that typically as light-hearted souls or wispy souls. But for us, it's really important to recognize this word because it's one that Ovid uses quite a bit, and it's an elegiac word. And anytime Ovid can use elegy in his epic poetry, he'll take that chance. It's his signature. Now notice on line 15, Persephonen. It's a good example of a Greek accusative. After the poet of Mount Rhodope cried to the heavens for her, and in order that he not fail to urge the shades, he dared to descend to the river Styx, by the gate of Taenarus, and among the wispy spirits, and ghosts having been dispatched to the grave, he went to Persephone, and the Lord holding the cheerless kingdom. Cțică, O positi sub terra numine mundi, in quem recedimus, quicquid mortali cremor, si lecet, et falsi positis ambagibus oris, vera loqui senitis, non hoc utopaca viderum tartara descendi, nec uti velosa colubris terna medusae vincirem gutra monstri. Notice that on line 17, noumina is in the vocative. On line 19, Ovid has provided us another classic example of chiasmus with falsi positis ambagibus oris. On line 20, we have an example of a purpose clause set off by ut and viderum in the imperfect subjunctive. Line 22 represents a golden line. We often recognize a golden line with the verb at the center and two adjectives on one side and two substantives on another. And with the strings having been struck to a song, he sang. O divinities of the world, placed below the earth into which we recede, whichever of us are created mortal, if it is permitted, and with the ambiguity of false speech set aside, you allow truth to be spoken, I did not descend here so that I might look upon dark Tartarus, nor to overcome the 3 throats of the monster of Medusa, fraught with snakes. Calsoia conjunx, inquam calcata venenum vipere defudet, crescens quab stulitanos, posse pate valui, nec me temptasse negabo. Notice the harsh alliteration on line 23 with Calcutta. Line 25 is absolutely packed with verbs, and one wonders why Ovid devoted attention to this particular line. The cause of my journey is my wife, into whom a trampled serpent poured its venom, snatching away her budding years. I wish to be able to endure, nor shall deny that I tried. Vicet amor, supera Deus, hic bene notis in ōrās, ansita hic dubito, sed et hic tamen auguror esse. Fama quae, si veteris non est mentite rapinae, vos quoque iunctit amor, per egae loca plene temoris, per chaos hoc in ingens vasti, quae silentia regni. Notice that on line 26, we have vicet, another verb, emphasizing the beginning of the line, and amor, love. This, for Ovid again, is tipping his hat to his elegiac work. Rapinae refers, of course, to Persephone's own abduction at the hands of Hades. Love conquers all. This god is well known in the upper regions. Whether he may be here also, I doubt. But nevertheless, I sense that he is also here. And if the story of the old abduction is not a lie, love has joined you as well. I beg by these places full of despair, by the immense chaos, and the unending silence of this desolate kingdom. Eurydice oro, properata retexiti fata. Omnia debentur vobis, palumque morati serius aut citius, sedem properamus ad unum. Tendimus huc omnes, haec est domus ultima. Vosque, humani generis longissima, regna tenetis. Unravel the premature death of Eurydice. All things are owed to you, and having delayed a little bit, or later, or swiftly, we hasten to that one seat. We all strive here. This is the ultimate house, and you hold the most enduring reign over the human race. Haequoque, cum justus matura per egeret annos, juris eret vestri, promunere poscimus usum, quod, si fati negant, veniam pro conjuge, certumst, nulle redere mihi, leto gaudete duorum. She also, when advanced in age completed her deserved years, will be under your authority. We ask for this right through an offering. But if the fates deny this favor for my wife, it is certain for me to not want to return. Enjoy the death of 2. Talia decentum, nervos quad verba moventem, ex sanguis flebant animae, nec tantalus undam captavit refugam, Stupoe quixiones orbis, nec carpsera ieco volucres, urnesque vacorent palides, inque tuo sediste, Sisyphe saxo. Notice the carpsera on line 43, an example of a syncopated perfect. The dead were lamenting over him uttering such things, and moving his strings to his words. Nor did Tantalus grasp the fleeing water, and the wheel of Ixion cease to turn. Nor did the birds tear at his liver. And the descendants of Belus, the Danae, were free from their urns. And Sisyphus, you perch on your rock. Tunc primum lacrimis, victarum carmine famest, huminidum maduisi genas, nec regia conjunc sustenet orante, nec qui reget ima, negare, Eurydicenque vocant, umbra serat, illa recentes inter, et incessit passo de vulnera tardo. Hanc simul, et legam rhodopeos accipit heros. On line 50, Ovid has included a zeugma, that is a literary device that uses one word to refer to two or more things. Here, the Rhodian hero welcomed her and the restriction. Then first, the cheeks of the Furies, having been conquered by his song, were wet with tears. Nor was the royal spouse able to deny him begging, nor he who rules the underworld. And they summoned Eurydice. She was among the recent shades, and she approached, her steps slow from her wound. The Rhodopean hero welcomed her, and at the same time the restriction. Ne flectat retro suo lumina, dona cavernas exieret vales, aut irritat donna futura. Carpitur acclivis, permuta silentia trames, arduus, obscurus, caligine, densus opaca, nec procu, affuerant telluris margine summae. Lest he turns behind with his eyes, until he exits the valley of the underworld, or his gift would be no more. The ascending path is taken through the soundless silence, steep, dark, and dense with gloom. They were not far off from the border of the top of the earth. Hic ne deficeret metuens, avedusque videndi, flexit amans aculos, et protonus illa relapsist. Brachiaque intendens, prendiquet prendere certans. Nil nisi, cadentis in felix aripit auris, iam quiterum moriens non est de conjuge quīquām. If you took a look at line 58, you'll notice an incredible amount of elision. It's as though Ovid is running out of time, or perhaps he is mirroring Orpheus's losing time as he nears the end of his quest. Here, fearing that she may lose strength, and eager for seeing her, her lover turned his eyes, and immediately she vanished. Holding her arms, and struggling both to be held and to hold, and the unlucky one snatched at nothing except the fleeting air, and now dying once more. Questa suo, quid enim nisi, sequere eretur amatum, supram vale. Quod iam vix auribus ille, acciperet, dixit, volutaque rursus iodemst. Notice that on line 61, Ovid makes one more plug for love. She did not complain about her husband at all. For what could she complain about? except that she was loved. She bid her final farewell, which now he scarcely received with his ears, and again she fell back to the same place.